Hello everybody, this is Kirby over yonder, and do you want to hear what's heartbreaking? When you realize that a cartoon that you used to love isn't very good anymore. Oftentimes, these cartoons make so much money that networks keep them going despite the quality of the show itself. This oftentimes leads to the cartoon becoming creatively dry, and you just want it to end. And with all due respect to every single one of the cartoons mentioned here, let's take a look and see how exactly they became so bad. Number 5. SpongeBob SquarePants. This is a bit of an interesting pick because I actually don't completely hate the newer seasons of SpongeBob, although the show clearly lost what it had in the first 3 seasons. I think what made the original run of SpongeBob so perfect was its ability to appeal to every demographic seamlessly. You could be a child, adult, teenager, or senior, and still get enjoyment out of SpongeBob. But when it comes to newer SpongeBob, it really only feels like the show is appealing to young kids as opposed to everyone. And don't get me wrong, it does a very good job appealing to kids. SpongeBob is a very high quality show. However, it doesn't have the same adult edge that the first 3 seasons had. They also really dumbed down some of the characters to me. SpongeBob lost a lot of the maturity he once had. Patrick has become an awful best friend, and Mr. Krabs can be downright malicious in some of these episodes. I put SpongeBob at number 5 though, because, like I said earlier, I don't think that the newer seasons are that bad. I just enjoy SpongeBob as a character too much to say that I dislike the show. And I still think that there's enough creativity in there. Plus, seasons 10 and 11 of SpongeBob have actually gotten really good again. I enjoy the creative direction that they took with this new season, and the writing is once again top-notch. It's nice to see that SpongeBob is once again an excellent cartoon. To be honest, I don't think I'd mind it if Nickelodeon kept SpongeBob on for another decade or two, just because I enjoy the characters so much. Number 4. Johnny Bravo. While seasons 1 and 2 of Johnny Bravo remain a Cartoon Network classic to most people, what most people don't remember is that seasons 3 and 4 are actually pretty weak. Seasons 3 and 4 of Johnny Bravo lost the sharp writing the show once had, and replaced it with a lot of cliché jokes that you've most likely heard before. Most of the episodes just consist of Johnny annoying people, which gets old very quickly. These seasons aren't even that interesting to talk about. They're about as bland as stale bread. Even moldy bread would taste interesting. Number 3. The Simpsons. Look, for as much of a pop culture icon The Simpsons is, it has gone on for so long. I mean, you really can't blame The Simpsons for becoming stale. It's been going on for almost 3 decades. And the more it goes on, the more bland it gets. It feels like the show is continually retelling the same jokes and stories it has 30 years ago. It really doesn't feel like the show has much left to say. It feels like everything The Simpsons wants to say is already being said by other adult cartoons, such as South Park, Family Guy, American Dad, Rick and Morty, BoJack Horseman, and many, many more. It's weird how The Simpsons is competing with a lot of the shows that were inspired by it. And after 30 years, you really can't blame the show for becoming so stale. But at this point, I just want it to end. Thoughts? Do us all a favor and please cancel The Simpsons. Number 2. Fairly Odd Parents. Here's a show that's lost all the magic it once had. Quite literally, actually. Where do we even start with Fairly Odd Parents? How about the fact that the show constantly needs to add new characters in order to keep people interested in it, and even that doesn't work? If you need to add new characters to keep a show interesting, then that's probably a good sign that you've run out of ideas. None of these new characters are interesting or funny or change up the show in a good way. They're just annoying and remind you how badly the show has gone downhill. But along with that, it feels like the main characters have been dumbed down as well, changing from dynamic and interesting characters to just kind of bland stereotypes of what they used to be. And in terms of comedy, oh boy has the show gone downhill. Most of the jokes rely on immature potty humor and running gags that repeat themselves so much that you want to hit yourself in the head every time you hear them. Thankfully, there hasn't been an episode in over a year, which hopefully means that Nickelodeon finally let this cartoon die already. Before we get to number 1, here are some honorable mentions. I don't necessarily agree with these entries, though I could see other people putting them on a list like this, and I'd like to justify why I didn't include them. Looney Tunes. To be honest, I don't really mind all of the Looney Tunes spin-offs. They're not great, but at least they do something new and interesting with the characters. Adventure Time. Adventure Time definitely had a weak period in seasons 5 and 6, which had quite a few mediocre episodes, though I wouldn't say the show ever got bad, and the later seasons definitely picked up in quality. I can definitely see why someone would include Adventure Time on a list like this, but personally, I don't think the series ever got bad. Regular Show. I was considering Regular Show for this list at one point. I'm not too crazy about the romance stuff in season 6. However, season 7 and 8 definitely pick up in quality. Regular Show was close to being on here, but I decided against it. Number 1. Tom and Jerry. If there is any cartoon series that has gone downhill, it's Tom and Jerry. I used to love the original Tom and Jerry. I remember waking up as a kid every morning just to watch Tom and Jerry shorts. It was slapstick genius, and it remains a cartoon classic to so many people. Now all we've got are lame spin-offs trying and failing to capture the magic of the original, as well as direct-to-DVD crossover movies that nobody asked for. Tom and Jerry is the definitive example of a cartoon series selling out. They will keep on making cartoons and movies for as long as they keep making Warner Bros. Money. And to me, it's very sad to see a cartoon series that I used to love so much become that. To me, Tom and Jerry is the #1 cartoon series that needs to die, though I don't think that'll be happening anytime soon. It can be very sad to see a cartoon series that you once loved drop in quality, though I think it's good to remember the good memories that we have with these shows, and be comforted by the fact that they're still going on today, even if they're not quite as good as they once were. Plus, most of these cartoons have been going on for over a decade, so it's easy to understand why they drop in quality. Are there any good cartoons that got bad that you think I missed? Please let me know in the comments, and have a lovely day. Kirby, out.